I did a little video earlier of our Hatton card.
I know, I saw.
Cute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't keen either. I think I'm just going to post a picture next time. I let TikTok edit it and it put flames on Ricky. So that was cool. Shall we start by apologising?
Every time you do this.
Sorry.
Every time you do this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Boxing 365 and our latest episode of Next Card in the Deck, which is the first one now that we are back on our little vacation, and the first card we're going to talk about is Leigh and Josh Warrington at Nottingham Arena, which is courtesy of Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. Before we do get into that, of course, we were away from the content just for a little bit. You might not have noticed so much on YouTube, but TikTok was a little bit quiet because we were away in Las Vegas, but we are back now. And so normal service should resume. So please make sure to like and subscribe. Please make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Get down in the comments. Let us know whether you like the video, whether you want us to do something different in the video, and we'll take it all on board. And we'll get into the first fight. Leigh Warrington.
That man's going to be angry at you again.
Why?
It's a minute and a half in and we've not even
Well,
talked about
no,
the main event yet.
30 seconds of that was you being a clown, and now we're talking about it. So,
Have you seen that Woman Vegas hat for everyone?
yeah.
$1 bills, yeah. So that's what the gangsters say.
Is it?
Think so.
Okay.
Leigh Warrington 2. I like this fight.
Yeah, because I think
Well, I'll let you talk.
it was worth doing again because of the fact that Leigh would look like he was losing the fight, and then managed to stop him.
It had everything that a Leigh fight has, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's that typical drama. His power gets him out of trouble. We saw it against Conlon. We saw it obviously against Maurizio Lara in the second fight where he came again against adversity with regards to the weight. And Josh Warrington. We see it all the time. With Josh, it's exactly what we'd expect. You've got two fighters that are at very similar stages of their career, both former two-time world champions at featherweight. This is at super feather. So, yeah, it's going to be... I think they've called it last man standing, I think, or something along them lines. It makes sense. The realism of it is, whoever wins this fight puts himself in a position to potentially carry on. The loser,
probably call it a day, one last payday, and that's it.
They're probably going to have to, because I think the problem you've got is that you won't get... It's not like when you lose at the highest level, especially when you've been at the level of these two operators. If you lose at this sort of level where it's like neither have got loads left, or stepping back down to British level, is Josh going to want to do that? I don't think so.
I think
it's hard, isn't it?
I think a loss for Warrington would be more damaging in a weird way because he took a step back and went and fought Sadasiv Khan.
Yeah, he did.
And went and did a bit of I need to take a minute, reset myself a little bit. Not massively, only the one fight really.
Yeah.
But I feel like that for me anyway, it might not be the same for everybody else. But that image of going right, okay, something wasn't right, wasn't quite there, wasn't at the races. Go back to a smaller fight, work some things out, bit of a warm up. Sadasiv Khan beat him. If he goes and loses now, it's a bit like it's not a good look.
Do you? Who do you think has the most left?
I don't really know because I was convinced that Leigh was losing that fight, and then, like you say, his power and sort of toughness got him out of trouble. But it's tough. Leigh 37 now as well, which is
them weights. It's hard.
He's getting on, so I sort of think I'm not sure. To be honest with you, if I had to pick a winner, I probably would pick Leigh Wood. But
would you?
I think so. But
pardon the pun.
I'm not convinced that if he beats Josh Warrington, that there's any intelligent next fight for him that's realistically that he can win.
It's really tough for me because again, I'm trying to put my bias to one side. Because for anyone who watches us who knows me, and obviously you do, massively Wood fan. I respect what he's done. sort of again that people's champion. No one expected him to go and win that world title, and he's come through every challenge, and he provides incredibly good value to boxing fans. Like the question we have to ask ourselves, without offending or again trying to be particularly biased here, is how good, even at his prime, was Leigh? You look at
Yeah.
prime v prime. Josh Warrington in his prime was relentless, was phenomenal. The best Josh Warrington beat Carl Frampton.
Yeah, I was going to say
Like
that
Josh
Carl was.
Warrington at his absolute peak was phenomenal. Leigh Wood has got himself out of trouble a couple of times. He's obviously good, but the realism of it is, if we're going to talk about what levels are left, the sort of drop for Leigh is, if let's say Leigh has lost 50% of his ability in comparison to Josh's 50%, I'm saying is that the 50%.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you mean.
50% Josh Warrington beats 50% Leigh Wood.
Yeah,
If that makes
I know
sense.
what you mean.
But at the same time, write Leigh Wood off at your peril, because
Yeah.
the realism of it is, if Josh is there to be hit, and Josh isn't remotely what he used to be, he's gonna get caught. And if he gets caught, we've seen it now in a couple of times against Lara. We've seen it against Lopez. He was hurt,
Yep.
despite we thought he'd won that fight. Kakachi, obviously, Leigh. It's a really intriguing bout because they're both at very similar stages. Um,
It does seem like I mean, they don't like each other either, which helps. Do you see the video thing?
the old
The old
man
man
thing.
thing. Yeah,
I
I
thought it was quite funny.
thought it was funny, but I actually thought that maybe for me that seemed like perhaps there wasn't quite as much spite behind it as I thought, because like they were poking fun at themselves a little bit as well. You know, Josh Warrington was basically saying that, I know it was all an act, but he was sort of saying that he can't retire until he's got his revenge, sort of thing. So that seemed quite light-hearted. I thought it was quite funny, but I think they do actually not like each other, and they do actually think the other's an idiot and the other's crazy, and
It's
yeah.
I think it's good. I like it. I like it enough that obviously I'm going. It's interesting. What I would say, just sort of 2 points. One that we heard earlier today when I was having a little bit of a listen, is that Nick Ball looks like he will potentially move up to super featherweight.
Yeah.
And some rumours have circulated, and it has been a fight that was touted previously, is that Nick would be interested in a fight with Josh Warrington, because they've had a little bit of to and fro previously. But also on top of that is that the realism of it is he'd be open to fighting the winner at his first fight at super feather, and I think that's a brilliant little thing. I think you've got two fighters who are big names in regards to Leigh and obviously Josh. If Nick wants to step up, it's a good opportunity to make a bit of a statement. Yeah, I think there's opportunities out there for the winner. But my question I was going to get to, and I've kind of gone around the houses a little bit, is: do you think this is a cash out fight, or do you genuinely think Josh Warrington and Leigh Wood could go and compete for world titles again?
Uh, I don't think they're realistically going to win a world title.
Okay.
Either of them. I think that this could be a stepping stone to get another title challenge potentially, but even then,
You're not convinced
no,
he'd
no.
win it?
But it depends, and I know I've said before, I really should have written it down, but it depends what the rest of that landscape looks like, and if there's anybody else waiting in line for those belts, then they're just not going to get their shot in time, is the thing.
Yeah.
If they have to wait any length of time or find any other fight in the meantime, I think it dies off for them.
I mean, the
And
thing is you got to look at that, like you say, that landscape, and the realism of it is, and I completely agree. I couldn't put it better. I'm not disputing they might get a challenge, they might get an opportunity to go and fight for a belt because it's boxing.
yeah,
Um, but do they beat the winner of Jazza Dickens and Anthony Kakachi? Well,
well, I mean,
Lee's already proven that not the case against
and
Kakachi,
Warrington lost to
and
Kakashi
Warrington
as
lost
well.
to
So,
Kakachi. If Jazza Dickens wins that, which I
in
actually
fact, Jazz
anticipate,
Dickens beat Leigh Wood before as well, didn't he, for the
yeah.
British?
And then you've got um, the other side of the pond. You've got Eduardo Sugar Nunez Navarrete in a unification fight.
Yeah,
Don't see either of them beating them. And
no,
then again, this is the tough thing because I think he's highly underrated. People will probably say that he's one of the weaker champions in regards to them weight classes. Would be O'Shaquie Foster, and I
yeah,
don't see either of them beating O'Shaquie Foster either.
not particularly. No. Again, I think if I had to say one of them was more likely, do actually still think that it'd be Leigh Wood, just because
Power.
he's got that power. So he
Yeah.
could be losing and stop him.
He's like a little white Deontay Wilder
Yeah, maybe. But
from Nottingham.
for me, that's sort of telling of what I perceive to be
Yeah,
left.
agreed.
As I don't think that Warrington would be good enough, slick enough, smart enough to beat somebody like O'Shaquie Foster or any of the other champions. But I
And has he
think,
got the power to trouble him
yeah,
as
and he's not
well?
got the power. But
Yeah, yeah.
Leigh Wood, even if he's not the smartest, not the slickest, whatever, which he improved on all that area of his game, especially in the second Lara fight. I thought
Yeah,
he looked
agreed.
really good. Even in the first, he looked good until
He was winning the fight.
he got clipped.
He was winning the fight, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think that regardless of that, if he can stay in a fight because he's tough, which he is tough,
Yeah, he
and
is.
to be fair, the only times it's been stopped, it has been
Stopped.
it's stopped.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Fear for in his life
Yeah.
type of stoppage, yeah.
So yeah, I think his power would make him the most likely to win a title of the two, but I don't see either of
No.
them being there, to be honest with you. Like I say, maybe a challenge and a final fight. Let's say Leigh wins this and he goes on and he does get a shot at one of the champions. Goes on,
Well,
big
apparently
money, loses.
he has been
So
offered.
what?
Apparently, he was offered the O'Shaquie Foster fight. That's what Leigh himself has said. Is he
Mm.
was offered to fight O'Shaquie Foster, but apparently he turned it down to fight Josh Warrington. Now, if that is true, firstly, why? Is it because he genuinely wants to put this beef to bed?
Yeah, maybe.
Or is it the fact that he looks at it and goes,
It's not a fight I want.
I'm probably not going to travel to America and win that fight?
Yeah.
So, lots of questions. Really good fight. Really excited.
So, I mean, I said I think Leigh would have win, but who do you think?
I think Josh Warrington.
Do you? Okay.
I didn't want to say it. I've sort of swerved it.
Yeah, but you do think it's Warrington.
I just think from what we've seen over the last few years, activity, fitness wise, Josh has remained ever professional. Leigh's had periods in and out of the gym.
Yeah.
And I just think, I'll be honest, Leigh has killed himself to make that weight for years and years and years. Josh has always been quite comfortable in and around it.
Yeah.
I just think it's taken a toll, and I think that Kakashi defeat, I hate to admit it, because I want Leigh to win. I've just got this feeling that I think Josh will stop him this time.
Let's see. The next fight for us to look at is Ishmael Davis and Bilal Fawaz.
Phenomenal fight.
I do think this is going to be really interesting, to be honest with you. Obviously, we've got Ishmael Davis, who's going to be bringing the British and Commonwealth Super Welterweight titles.
Go on, Ish.
Good win over Sam Gilly.
Yeah.
In a tough fight. It was a good fight to watch.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, that.
Yeah, I think it was fairly close. I do think Ishmael Davis deserved the win, to be honest with you.
I edged it for Ish.
Yeah.
I edged it for Ish.
Yeah. And I think
rightly so as well, because he's been in some really. Do you know what? Ishmael Davis, he'd lost 3 on the bounce before that. In apart from the Boachuk fight, which obviously he was stopped, but again, he came on. I think he had 6 days' notice for that fight.
Yeah.
But you look at the fight with Josh Kelly, who's obviously now the IBF world champion. Close enough fight.
Yeah.
Came on really strong in the later rounds. And then obviously he fought Kievan Ajarko, where we thought he'd done enough probably to steal that fight.
Yeah, especially with did he knock him down right at the end of the fight, didn't he? So, but
again, it was close.
Yeah,
and he's not had the rub of the green
for either of those, can you?
And then against Sam Gilly, it's again I had Ish winning that by I think it was I can't remember if it was a round or 2, but even still, it was close enough that if it had gone the other way, there probably wouldn't have been any screams for robbery.
No.
And he got the rub of the green, and I think rightly so, because his career was on the line.
Yeah.
If he'd have lost 4 on bounce at them sort of levels, late or not, Matchroom aren't keeping him. Like he's going to end up on small hall and wait for an opportunity. Bilal Fawaz, best kept secret in boxing, apparently.
Yeah, seems to be.
Absolutely brilliant. If anyone's wondering why I'm stuttering and he's rubbing his eyes, it's because we're both still a bit jet lagged. Bilal Fawaz is what I was talking about. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Showed his class against Junaid Boston, shown his experience. And I think it's another really tough fight for Ishmael.
You think?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
See, I was fairly. Now, I agree that Fawaz looks good. He looked good against Junaid Boston. Don't get me wrong, but I sort of think Ishmael Davis has fought. Well, he's fought at this level, and he's fought
at world level.
Fighters that are at world level.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's come very close, really. In all those fights. And you can't, and you go, well, he's only just falling short at world level, really, only just. Regardless of this British title fight he had with Sam Gilly, that was also fairly close. You got to go, well, yeah, British title fight tends to generate a good fight, doesn't it?
Always, yeah.
So he's at that level or better, and we don't really know.
How good Fawaz
We
is.
don't know how good Fawaz is because his most impressive fights so far have been against Junaid Boston, who again
We
we
don't know
don't know
how
how
good he
good he
is.
is,
Yeah,
because,
yeah, I
and
agree.
that's only because up until those fights it was wow, Junaid Boston, he's coming out of Steel City Gym, he's looking good, he's looking like he could be the real deal. Couple of banana skin fights against
Mm.
Bilal Fawaz, but could that just be timing? Could it be styles? Could it be? It could be anything. You
Could
could,
it be Junaid's not as good as we thought he
yeah,
maybe could have been? Yeah,
exactly. So
I get what
you
you're
don't
saying.
we don't really know what we don't know enough about Bilal Fawaz yet. If he goes and fights Ishmael Davis and beats him, I feel like that's very telling.
How big of an upset would it be for you if Fawaz beat him? And just for clarity, by the way, I want to make my point really clear because I don't want people to get. You know what people are like? They'll
Mm,
watch the first 10 seconds of a clip and they'll go, "Fucking Tom hates Ishmael Davis.
mm,
He thinks Bilal Fawaz is second coming of Christ." I don't.
mm,
What I'm saying is because of the unknown that surrounds Bilal
mm,
Fawaz, because of what we've seen in regards to the Junaid fights, which yes, it's hard to measure, is going to be a tough night's work. In a second, but now, I think Ishmael Davis stops him.
mm,
And the only reason I think he stops him is we saw Junaid hurt him a couple of times, where Fawaz looked like, ooh, his legs aren't right here. And so did Junaid,
mm,
obviously.
yeah.
Um, and I just think someone like Ish, who does throw his hands, has been hit with far bigger shots than what Fawaz is going to hit him with. I do think Ishmael Davis will stop him. But how big of an upset then? How big of an upset do you think it is if Fawaz goes and
I think
causes
it's
it?
I don't know. It'd be a bigger upset for me. Pretty well, no, actually, I can't say that because there's a couple of prospects we don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that would be real surprises if they lost. Um, it'd be big for me. I imagine that the bookies would have that quite significant. I
yeah.
can't see how they wouldn't. I haven't actually had a look, but
No, I
for
haven't either.
me, that'd have to be some fairly big odds. I say
Okay.
fairly. I'm not talking huge odds
You're not
because
talking 25 to
no,
1.
it's not out of the realms of possibility at all. But it's just
Talking what, 4 to 1, 5 to 1?
thinking closer to double digits,
Okay.
8, 9, something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's.
You heard it here first, everyone. Dan thinks Bilal Fawaz is shit.
No, I don't think it's shit. I just don't think you know enough about him to
To
get any serious like traction on saying, yeah, Bilal Fawaz is gonna go in there and make this difficult. I think he'll be elusive. I think he'll land some shots
is
because
Thomas Assomba's fighting today.
no,
Hmm, madness. Sorry.
that's all right. I didn't want to finish making my point anyway. I think that Ishmael Davis will win. I would be very surprised if Bilal Fawaz beats him because this is over 12 rounds for the British and Commonwealth titles. So 2-1.
2 to 1.
Wow, that does surprise me.
Short, innit?
Yeah, maybe that's a English champion, British champion. It's
Yeah.
English champion, isn't it?
Yeah.
English champion, British champion. They've sort of said, well, it must be similar levels, but
Do you know what we can agree
not
on?
for me. Mm.
Good fight.
Oh, definitely,
Good fight.
definitely
It'll
a
be
good fight.
entertaining. But I am with you in the regards that despite the fact that I think Bilal Fawaz is going to be a tough night's work, I do expect Ish to get to him probably sort of mid to late rounds.
Yeah,
Top
I like to
win
say
by.
12 rounder as well. I sort of think there's a lot of time in that fight for him to get to him, and I think he will. And I think when he
100%.
does, that'll be that. But
100%.
we'll see. Um, Last fight that we'll go into excessive detail on because we've got a lot that we'll sort of breeze through is Sandy Ryan and Carla Ramos Zamora for the WBC World Super Lightweight title, which is currently vacant.
This feels like one of the old school women's world title fights where
You mean that this seems like it's a world title? It's a world title, but it's not a world title fight.
yeah, kind of. I don't. I'm always conscious when talking about women's boxing. And I'm a massive fan of women's boxing. When we were in Vegas, we had a full conversation
Yeah.
about the MVP card.
Mm.
Caroline Dubois, Terry Harper is one example. It's a phenomenal fight.
Yeah.
Super excited for. I'm always conscious that if you say one thing wrong about women's boxing, and people are going to get down your throat and like, no, we're not. But and you're like, right, well, you've got Sandy Ryan, who I think is very good, who is definitely world level.
Previous world
champion, yeah. Fought Michaela Mayer twice.
Mm-hmm.
No shame in losing them 2 fights.
No.
I thought she won the first fight, so proved that she's in and around that level. You've got a lady who has fought in and around world level
On a couple of occasions.
but lost,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. But she's got a 50-50 split record, there or thereabouts.
Yep.
And it feels like one of them old world title fights where we haven't got enough depth.
Yep.
So we're going to give a world-class fighter a vacant world title shot against someone.
Mm.
And it just feels like a bit of a nothing fight when you go.
I do tend to agree there. And it's no disrespect to either fighter, but it does feel like, as I say, it's a world title fight, but it's not a world title fight. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like these two fighters coming together. They're at world level, and they even Sandy Ryan, who is world level, previous world champion, obviously had a couple of losses and things like that. A couple of fights back
Demolished Terry Harper.
now. Demolished Terry Harper for the WBO Welter, I think it was.
Yeah, WBO title.
Yeah, WBO World Welter title.
I've
So
only got one, sure.
that's like a good win for Sandy Ryan. But yeah, this title comes up, super lightweight.
There's no hype around it, though, is there? There's no hype.
No.
There's no promotion on it, and that's nothing to do with the fact that Matchroom haven't mentioned it. It's been mentioned. It's been talked about. The problem with it is that there's no interest because yes, there's a world title attached to it, but again, I hate saying it. Neither of them have earned the shot.
Not
How many people do you
particularly.
think watching this are going to even know the opponent?
Well, probably not many. Well, to be fair, so Zamora,
And that's no disrespect to the opponent.
12,
Sorry.
12, 10 and 2. So 10 losses, 2 draws to 12 wins. Not massively active either. So did fight in 2024, and once in 2024, once in 2025. Before that, I believe it was a loss to Beatrice Ferreira in 2023 on the Dalton Smith and Sam Maxwell card, I think it was.
I was there.
Yeah. And it was a bit, I was looking at it and thinking, well, she's fought Beatrice Ferreira, who is world level, but it was only Beatrice Ferreira's third fight. So it wasn't like she was fighting a world champion or anything like that.
No.
She's fought Layla Boudouin, I believe it's pronounced.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Who's gone on and
sorry.
fought against good opponents and fought at world level and competed on the heights, lost to Alicia Baumgardner in December.
Yes.
On that massive card.
And did herself somewhat proud in that fight. I think she performed very well.
Yeah. So I think this Zamora, she's been in with good fighters, but it doesn't tell a particularly good tale.
I think the best way I can put it, for me, is it's not a bad fight. Let me just make that abundantly clear. I will watch the fight, obviously. It's not a bad fight. It's a good fight. But this is the fight that Sandy Ryan should be having to prove she's still at that level. This isn't the world title fight.
Not for me, no.
This should not have a world title attached. This can be the Zuffa title fight.
Oh God!
If you strap the nothing belt to it.
Well, Eddie Hearn said that he could have done a matchroom one, and then he suggested to Coogan that they could have an IFL belt.
Have you watched the interview?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that somebody out there spots us and asks if there's we should have a boxing 365 champion of the world belt.
Yeah, but listen, just because Dana White did it, we're only going to recognise 4 weight classes.
Okay. Yeah.
Featherweight, heavyweight, light heavy,
cruiser,
atom.
If
you don't make them weights, we're not fucking interested. Get out. Get out.
Now, I know you said this Sandy Ryan fight is interesting. I think it'll be a good enough fight, but I do feel like Sandy Ryan's fought and won at a better level. World champion should be. If I feel like I'd be placing a fairly safe bet on Sandy Ryan, to be honest. Not gambling advice.
God no, not off me anyway. This hat is the closest thing I got to fucking money in Vegas.
Oh God.
The one thing I would like to say on this fight, and the last thing is, Sandy Ryan will come forward. Zamora does come forward.
So it'll be good on the eye.
It's going to be good on the eye. It's going to be an enjoyable watch. And whoever wins the world title is probably going to fucking lose it again.
Perfect. Perfect.
No disrespect. I
Uh,
love it when you say no disrespect, by the way. As soon as you said something disrespectful, as if that
yeah,
immediately.
just that's like putting gorilla tape on a leaking roof.
If anyone would like to know, when we had the flood not so long ago, we fixed it with Gorilla Tape. However, found that the light fitting became a small, light electrical swimming pool for a period and couldn't work out why it kept shorting out my house. But we worked it out now. And to fix it, we've removed the light. So now we just have a leak.
The tape was supposed to be a temporary measure.
It is a temporary
We'll
measure.
be fixing the roof at
The
some
roof
point,
will
but
get
it
it
is
fixed.
currently freezing cold and absolutely
And
pissing it down.
fuck that. So, we have
Right.
got a couple of other quick fights to reel through, haven't we?
Yeah, we're going to just talk about our fighters mostly. So we've got TMA tonight again, 5th fight now. And this one seems like another step in the right direction,
Yeah.
which is good. Against a fighter who's ranked well with BoxRec. You'll have to excuse me for not checking how they're ranked with all of the other good governing bodies.
Probably with the IBF top, because
Probably.
IBF make it up.
Probably. Young Brazilian fighter,
Yeah.
winning record. I believe she's 9-2, something like that.
Yeah,
Might even be
9-1, I think, maybe.
something like that. Yeah. So another good fight for TMA 18, and I would say again, if she can carry on her streak of knocking out her opponents, she'll be putting herself 5-0, 5 knockouts. That world title is this year.
Oh,
It's got to
easily.
be.
I'll be honest.
6 months away.
I'll be honest. Like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but fuck it, roll the dice.
Mm.
Honestly, like, I know that sounds stupid.
Now,
So,
see, I sort of think
I
like,
get it. We're in no rush, right? We're in no rush. The problem is the level in men's boxing.
yeah,
Again, this isn't me being sexist.
you can progress
The
steadily.
progression is so steady. The gap between the fighters that fight at world level and everyone else in women's boxing,
It's massive.
it's massive. So you're either going to get TMA just knocking everybody out for the next 6 months until we eventually throw her in a world title fight, not learning a great deal of anything, or we just roll the dice. And look, I'm not saying we put her in there with the hardest match possible. Even potentially, let's go and do a final eliminator.
Yeah, but I think that's next.
100%.
I think this happens. You give it 2 months for him to find a fight and make it happen for an eliminator or I don't know, a silver or something.
Yeah.
And then it's got to be big fight summer
100%.
or late summer, whatever.
For me, I think Matchroom should look to give her the opportunity to headline her own show.
You also
next gen sort of show.
Yeah, but you also see that like Sandy Ryan, she's picked up losses. She's a previous world champion, but she's just got a shot at
Another world
a
title.
vacant world title
Yeah,
at
100%.
super lightweight when she was fighting at welterweight.
Yeah.
That's going to come easy for TMA, and those things were even if you went a bit too early and lost the fight. I know they wouldn't want to do that for her.
No.
But if worst case scenario, it happens.
It does not do anything.
Literally
terribly.
nothing.
In women's
no
boxing, I
problem
mean,
for
we've
me.
seen it. I mean, look at the opponent for Sandy Ryan. She's got a 50-50 split between wins and losses in the most part, and she's in another world title fight. TMA Ayton can go and lose a fight. And the thing is, Joe, sometimes you hear fighters talk about it, and we can't through experience. But you learn more in your losses.
Yeah.
So it might do us some good to get knocked out.
Well, I
don't want that to happen.
I very much doubt that she'll lose anyway. But like I say, I think you're right. I think this will be a 5th. Hopefully another knockout. Call it then. One more fight in the next couple of months. Another 3 months. 3 months after that, this should be a world title. I think.
Deal sold.
We've also got Molly McCann out for a third pro fight now.
Yes.
At similar sort of levels to where she's been fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, she fought Jade Grierson. She fought Ebony Cotton. Was it Ebony Cotton?
Yeah,
it was
Ebony Cotton.
Good.
You liked Ebony Cotton, didn't we?
Forgot her first name then.
She was good. She was
She was good.
I liked Ebony.
And another fight, similar sort of level, perhaps a small step up. So hoping to see whether she can carry on and perhaps obviously she's going to be carry on making herself some money, but whether she can start to make some waves and progress. We had a look. She's at super bantam.
Tough division. And
Tough division.
You've got Ellie Scott pretty much holding all the marbles in that one.
So,
but yeah, no. To be honest, Molly McCann. The thing is she's in that awkward level of she's a combat. She's a what's the correct term? I don't know.
What were you trying to say?
Basically, she's an elite athlete. Is exactly what I was trying to say, and I don't know why I couldn't get it out. She's an elite athlete in female combat sports. So the realism of it is she's going to be in and around that level. They'll probably give her another couple of fights, and then they're going to want to make a big event.
Springboard her a
She's
bit.
there. She's there for that.
Yeah.
She's not with Matchroom for her natural boxing ability. She's there because she's a big name. She's marketable, and they'll put her in a massive event. And if she wins, fantastic. If she loses, not going to do.
And I think it's within her capabilities to potentially win a world title
Yeah.
in boxing anyway.
I would agree.
We've also got Leo Atang,
big heavyweights.
who I can't remember his opponent. You said you've got his
Dan
opponent.
Garber.
Dan Garber.
Trained by Jimmy First.
Trained by Jimmy First. So
he's good. Dan is. Do you know if it wasn't for the fact? Do you know he's one of them fighters that if he had like, I've heard people say it before, but if he had a full training camp and he was fully full time, and
yeah,
he had the promotional backing and stuff, it's actually really good. And I think it was Dave Allen that said it, who, funnily enough, is also on this card, which we'll quickly mention in a second. Yeah, it's a good test. It's a good test. Only person that's ever stopped Dan Garber is Hughie Fury, who we fought last year. Over in Rotterdam on the undercard of Kraus and Ibrahim, the IBF European. So yeah, it's going to be a good telltale sign. If Leo goes in there and does a job on him, it's a hell of a measure.
Yeah.
Hell of a measure. And then people really need to start getting excited about this kid.
Yeah.
We've said it from day one when he made his debut. This kid's got absolutely everything to be a superstar.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it gets on.
Fingers crossed, another good win.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And then finally Dave Allen, who's back after his last fight where he fought Makhmudov, and lost.
No shame.
No shame in that. But another go at it, really, isn't it? It's stay in the sport, still got something to give, admits, right, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't at that level, see what I have got. And I feel like he's just the kind of character who's always going to have that mentality. And I think this fight, I didn't see a confirmed opponent, but he said he did mention it.
He has got one. He's a French guy. He's 9 and 8 or something like that. Look, the realism of it is this guy he's not coming to lose because it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But the realism of it is he's not going to be anywhere near Dave's level. Dave is, we spoke about it in the last one, Dave is much better than people give him credit for. And that's not just us blowing smoke up Dave's arse, because if Dave was shit, I'd say he's shit.
Yeah.
Dave's not shit. Dave's very, very good. And I think if it weren't for the event and the occasion of Sheffield, he'd probably have done a few things differently against Makhmudov. But yeah, I think the plan is get him out, get him some confidence, because I think Dave needs that.
Yeah.
And then we go again, and who that may be, I'd like it to be Jamie TKV for the British title, but Ben Shalom apparently doesn't want to match any of his fighters because he was meant to be fighting Johnny Fisher, and apparently Ben's got the dentist that day.
All right. Perfect.
Pissing me right off, I tell you.
Let's not get on about Ben Shalom again, shall we?
Honestly.
We're
unbiased here, but Ben Shalom sometimes. Boy.
Right, we will crack on into our final parts then. So I'll start off asking you for the winners as you predict them, whilst you go through that.
I need to get Rate Robot.
Which starts us off with Wood Warrington. You think?
I think Warrington. I do, and I don't like to, but
I think that's where it's going to go.
I think so.
Ishmael Davis and Bilal Fawaz.
Ishmael Davis, mid to late stoppage.
Yeah. Sandy Ryan and Carla Zamora.
Sandy.
Yeah, definitely. We won't go into our prospect area and some of our up-and-comers, and we won't go into the Dave fight, but we haven't got necessarily a solid named opponent to hand.
Yep.
What's going to be the best fight to watch?
Leigh Warrington's going to be absolute,
should be
guaranteed.
Fireworks,
it's going to be drama. You've got two guys, a bit like Eubank Ben. You've got two guys who genuinely dislike each other. Warrington's got a point in a bit of a beaner's bonnet of I'll take your power, I'll walk through you.
Yeah.
Lee's confident that ain't going to happen. Lee's been hurt. Josh has been hurt. It's guaranteed to be fireworks. It's going to have a great atmosphere. Nottingham Arena is always a good arena for boxing. So, yeah, 100% main event for me.
Happy days. As far as a rating for the card?
Just bear with me, I'm removing my bias. Not the strongest card in the world. But it's a domestic dust up. There's no world title, so I'm not judging it as a world title fight as the main event or anything like that. It's a domestic fight, but I want to give it an 8, but I feel like an 8's way too high.
Yeah.
I think a 7's probably fair. I was going to go 6, but I think
a 7 or a 6, I think is fair.
6.5. Can I do 0.5s?
Yeah.
6.5.
6.5.
I think so.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's not pulling up any trees.
There's a world title on there. There's a
No, it's
British and
not.
Commonwealth fight
No,
on there.
don't fucking. It's a WBC silver at best. The WBC have sanctioned the wrong
Well.
fucking belt.
Well, this is the way it's stacked, and we've got a lot of prospect talent on there. So
We have, yeah. In all fairness.
All right, the final part then.
Robo.
Rate the robot. Let's see.
Leigh Wood, knockout.
Right.
Ishmael Davis, decision.
Okay.
Sandy Ryan, decision.
Fair. Yeah.
I'm okay with all of them.
I
actually hope they all come in.
That's all
because
right.
I want Leigh to win.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will.
Well, time will tell. This will be on the 21st of Feb. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. 21st of Feb. So make sure to get on and watch it if you're not already going. And we will be moving on to our next episode shortly. So we will see you all later.
Keep an eye out, guys.